Arrested for inciting violent attacks during protests in the US back in 2017. That's according at least to an unsealed criminal complaint by the FBI. I've got Ilya Petrenko in the studio now to give us more details. Ilya, what more do we know about these allegations and these documents?
Hi again, Dan. Well, the man who behind this complaint was actually in charge of investigating terrorist groups back in America for the FBI. And right here, you will be able to see some photos of the defendants. Here they are, and these people are from the White Supremacy Rise Above movement. Just lately, a number of charges have been brought against this group, which includes a conspiracy to start riots. Now, the men were involved in the deadly 2017 Charlottesville riots. So the FBI agent found that the Rise Above movement members toured Europe and went to countries like Germany, Italy, and Ukraine, and that is where they met local extremist neo-Nazi groups. According to the FBI operative, the people from the RMA had a photo with a leader of a Ukrainian far-right party, one of their leaders, founded out of a paramilitary battalion called Azov, which was on the front lines of the conflict in East Ukraine. And that conflict broke out when a number of the regions there refused to accept the results of a bloody coup in Kiev, which led to the government there being overthrown. Now, here's what the FBI agent wrote about Azov.
The Azov Battalion is a paramilitary unit of the Ukrainian National Guard, which is known for its association with neo-Nazi ideology and use of Nazi symbolism, and which is believed to have participated in training and radicalizing United States-based white supremacy organizations.
Well, just have a look at the screen here. You don't have to be an FBI agent to prove that Azov is actively using neo-Nazi symbols. You can just look at their emblems and insignia. Neo-Nazi salutes and fascist slogans even are a common thing. Now, I just want you to have a look at what rather frequent marches of members of these kind of organizations and their supporters look like in Ukraine. This was marches of members and supporters of the Azov Battalion. So, Dan, this criminal complaint, which was written by an FBI operative, is important because it appears to be, the first instance of FBI actually looking into the claims of Ukrainian neo-Nazis somehow being involved in training the radicals across the Atlantic.
It'll be interesting to see what those further documents reveal, and of course any investigation that happens. RT's Ilya Petrenko there, thanks for the details. As you can see there, right-wing groups call the rally to denounce Merkel's open-door policy, which has seen over 1 million people pour into the country since the height of that migrant crisis 3 years ago. They were met with counter-demonstrators who attempted to block their arrival at a railway station, leading to a heated standoff with police officers. And many Germans have been calling on Merkel to step down from her role as Chancellor as early as next year. That's in response to her saying she will continue to the end of her term in 2021. Merkel said she won't be seeking re-election.
Political leanings of Germans has raised more than a few eyebrows. 8% of those polled said they favoured dictatorship as the ruling form for the country, with 11% saying they were on side with strong-arm leadership. Now, I spoke to people on the streets of Berlin. They were shocked that anyone here would hold those type of ideas.
It's terrible.
We've been through that in history.
What do I think about this? This is our past. This is our past. It cannot be allowed to become our future.
I don't agree with it at all, and I hope that the majority doesn't.
This is Auschwitz. I painted this in 1962. This has been present in Germans for a long time. This is just a consequence of that.
It doesn't surprise me because I see the people. It's possible.
Well, I think that's everyone's personal choice.
Maybe due to the refugee crisis lately, that may have impacted some people's opinions.
The government has to make something so that the country is led into a better place and not into a worse place than it is already.
Bavarian chairman of the Alternative for Germany party, Peter Bistron, believes Angela Merkel will have a hard time saving her leadership and said recent polls in Germany are behind the times.
Angela Merkel is a lame duck, and that was pretty obvious already after the election. She lost the elections. She's got a tremendous problem even to get together a coalition, and she's now trying to stay at least as chancellor, but the chances are low. We've got the information that the socialist parliamentarians are already looking for new jobs outside of the parliament because they think that this government will not remain any longer. The German people don't want an authoritarian regime, but, and this is very important, they already have one. Because what happens in the country now under Angela Merkel, this is very authoritarian. The government is producing fake news, like in Chemnitz. The government is dismissing clerks just because they are opposing the government, like with Dr. Maaßen. The Germans are very open-minded people, and they're still welcoming people from abroad.